One time is funny. 2 times is fucking annoying, no?
And with that, I welcome you to this review of the latest Battle Pass with the M-VII-Y tank for Far Cry. And without further ado, first things first, this is how the 3D style will look on this Joe tank. And I have to say, it looks pretty darn nice. Really. It really does look nice. It might be a little bit over the top, but I can live with that. It ain't too much. And it looks like a tank you could even see in something like Vietnam, you know, like properly hidden. And the other thing is about Joe tank. This tank actually does exist in the sense of there were fully fledged blueprints, fully fledged sketches, fully fledged design studies that this tank is going to be a thing. So that is good, because I complained about the Petra tank and the other vehicle, the Stritzwagen TFM53 in the previous Super Test preview video. So that is cool to see. So what do you have to do to get this vehicle? You have to complete 40 Battle Pass stages and you have to pay at least 3,500 gold to get this vehicle, which is a bit of a pity. We used to have marathons where you would get the tank for free. Now it's just, how should I say, it's just 0 perk cruise, which is pretty decent, but I don't know, it just kind of leaves this annoyance laying around that you have to pay a minimum of 3,500 gold. And why is that a problem? Because generally speaking, the M-VII-Y tank feels like a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun if, and this is very important, you enjoy the Renegade and the E5. If you enjoy the Renegade gameplay and the E5 gameplay, that Joe tank is for you. Thank you very much for watching, hope you subscribe and see you around. For the ones which are not entirely sure, let's continue with this review. And before we do that, we also have to point out that what you will see in the gameplay are tank or gameplay snippets which are of its pre-buffed state. Because with the release of the Battle Pass, this vehicle is gonna get buffed quite a bit. Not only does it get quicker aim time, you get over 10% faster aim time, meaning you get for free a GLD, which is crazy. You also get 150 more hit points, which is pretty banging. It just helps you to trade more with your massive cupola. And that is the biggest change, you get almost quadruple your HE pen. And I will showcase you a couple of clips where you will notice that, I probably should have done this, or should have had this buff before, because it would have changed of a non-pen to a pen and a kill, for example. That is pretty decent. And the package of the Joe tank is pretty fun as well. You have a good gun, it's 400 alpha, it has good DPM, good gun handling, it has good base pen with AP, it has 315 heat pen. It just works, it's decently mobile and its armor is good enough. And I think without further ado, let's just jump into the gameplay sequences so you can see what Raptor is yapping about. In the first sequence, we have a little bit of driving on mines. The game wasn't in particular fun and worked out well for us. I tried to play middle, didn't really work out due to some unfortunate situations like this one right here. So you will notice a little bit of, how should we say, rage aiming, you know? The situation where you are going in and out very, very quickly. In any case, we loaded our HE, and this is one of these clips where we would have gotten a kill and a pen if we had the better HE. There is the RD, we aim for it and we don't penetrate, and this is what I mean with the rage aiming. It's a bit unfortunate, but with the new updates it would have worked out well. Now we have a second clip where we are on Ghost Town. We got a little bit of damage already in, but it wasn't really that interesting, and I decided to say, you know what, let's limit test this vehicle. I can't really, how should I say, predict that the M-VII-Y is camping there so long into the game, but you can see we are able to try and play there. We get a shot into the legs, the M-VII-Y still, I guess the bot just placed himself there and I was just looking one spot. But the main problem we are having here is that we have this massive cupola which is looking over the position there, making it very, very hard to try and peek the E-100 because, hey, the E-100 has 750 alpha, we have 400. Luckily, he missed, and with our sub 8-second reload, we even get a free shot into the E-100's lower plate, and we are now at 2.2k damage, which is pretty decent. So we are continuously waiting here to try and bait their shots. He shoots again, meaning we should have an easy shot in. I tried to get a shot on the IS-7, but I couldn't, and we get a shot in there as well, which is pretty decent. We are now at 2.6k damage, and now something incredible funny happens, which we cannot do anything. Why are we driving forward? Yes, the BZT-70 is just a certain individual. If something like this happens, report it under physics abuse, they will get a time out. Very unfortunate that this was how the game ended, because we had quite a lot of hit points left to trade and do probably more than 4k damage. In the next clip is a little bit long. There are a couple of clips I want to showcase to you, because it also is all about positioning. You could see the Cano try to get through our cupola because it's massive, it's huge, you can eat it easily. But as you look under the minimap, you might notice that there are some friends on the right side of us, and we are able to just get a little bit more separation, which allows our team to get shots into the side of the can opener if he looks at me, and I get shots into the can opener side if he looks at our friendlies. So this positioning is fantastic, and kudos to the AMX-M4 from the T17C clan to help us out there as well. Nice little snapshot there in the object 752, and yeah, we are now on the leaderboard. We now finally got some damage in without losing any hit points, which is pretty poggers. You might notice throughout all these clips I've only played, by the way, that shot was nasty, I don't know how that happened, but we take it. I'm only playing HP Turbo Rammer. There's no need for anything else. You have the track mechanics, but you want to have a little bit more HP. That's why Wargaming also buffed it. You have a decent reload. You have great gun handling. There is no need for a stabilizer. So you just need the turbo, because then it gets actually quite mobile for a heavy tank with that armor and that impact, I would say. And yeah, maybe this would have hit with the buffed GLD, aka included GLD, faster reload aim time, but who knows. This now is a little bit of an unfortunate situation where we need to try to trade our hit points. The BZ-75, yeah, he's gonna have an easy time. Unfortunate about that shot. Should have loaded AP to have an easy pen there, but I didn't. And now, yeah, look, we have such a massive cupola. He has a massive cupola. I can't even try to gun block it because I aimed too long. The thing is, though, it's still a positive trade because, yeah, he did 650 to us, or 620. We do 400, and we are able to do another 400. So overall, net positive of 800 versus 650. Turning around, we notice that there are a few people running towards us from the rear. So we have to be very careful. I was a little bit too, how should we say, optimistic. So I pulled a little bit forward too much, but we get a free shot into the D30. We finish this lad off, and the AMX-M4 is now finally using his hit points, so we can play a little bit more aggressive as well. Get some damage in and yeah, trade out the Patton tank, because he also has a massive cupola. So yeah, if you like the Patton tank, which would be very funny, you will also like this vehicle because it just feels so much better than Patton the tank. And again, don't forget, it will get hash basically, which is amazing. So pushing down here, we get some shot into T100 LT. I don't know where the sharp feature 4 went. Like, he was down here. Where did it go? Like, I don't get it. That's why I'm very careful here. I don't want to go in too much because we are a 2-shot and we might die. And suddenly he is behind us? What the hell? How even? How did that happen? I didn't... What? He's a magician. In any case, in such situations, what I can recommend to you is try to count the shells. I still know he has one more shot left, so he can't kill us. I tried to get, how should I say, to get him to bounce, but hey, he aims for so long. The cupola is so massive. I'm sorry, man. Like, if you miss it, it's a skill issue on their side, not on your, because you tried your very best. Now we have another situation. We're going to load HE because there is an FV, and here there was no big, how should we say, there was no difference because we had the worse HE. Because FVs are so that simple to penetrate that there's no biggie. 550 damage there, we take it. In the end, it was around 6.7k, 6.7 damage in that game. Next clip, I want to showcase to you how good the DPM actually is. We are at 800 damage. I don't know what the WZ TD is doing. We were able to get a shot in because we have good AP, and we are now, basically the game is already over. Like, if not even 3 minutes in, the game is over very, very soon. Excuse me, not 3. Well, not even 4 minutes in, the game is very, very over. It's 1-4, and it will be 1-5, 1-6. Yeah, it's Jover, guys. It's literally Jover. So, we are just trying to do our best, and you will see what the limitations of this vehicle is. So, we see that the A-Phase-Y is pushing around. We get a free shot into his side. RD penetrated, well, not penetrated, but hit him for some damage. And because we have pretty decent DPM, we need to try and get some people out to still have the opportunity to do a bit more damage. But now look, we are stuck here. There is no way I can try and hide the cupola, and yeah, what can we do? Like, what can we do? Literally, we cannot do anything. It doesn't matter. Like, it's a free pen. He doesn't even need to shoot APCR. It's a free pen with AP. It's for certain HEs, it's even a pen. Like, not even kidding, with the buffed HE, the cupola is a 50-50. It's so weak. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate I bounced that shot, but here I was finally able to bait the E75, and in very short duration we were able to grind out 3000 damage or 2200 additional damage. And here, this is like the perfect situation. Cupola is hidden, and you can see DPM, you can see gun handling, you can see everything in action. Like, this is the perfect Joe tank situation. Bang! First shot in. Very, very easy. You can see we can hide our cupola, which is amazing. Slowly out. Donk. Second shot in. 800 damage. Trade up for 0. If it would be the type, I would stop peeking right now. But hey, 3 times the charm, eh? And another shot. 1200 damage for free at the beginning of the game, and now he understood it. The game wasn't all sunshine and roses, sadly enough. I'm gonna skip forward to at the end of the game, and we didn't do any damage more, by the way. We were just driving around, and yeah. We got a shot in there with the T30, and you will definitely notice now that, yeah, here maybe the faster aim time could have helped us a tiny bit, but we are technically in a decent position. We are hold down at distance, meaning it's a little bit harder for them to hit us. We missed that shot. Okay, it is what it is. And now I make the massive mistake. Rather than going for the Leopard PTA, an easier shot, I try to peek into the T30, and he completely omega slaps us in the face. So, let's have a look at the armor of this vehicle, because, yeah, the armor is like an E5, just that the hull is weaker. The hull, as you can see, we are now comparing it to an A-Phase-Y, which has the exact same standard penetration as you do. The hull is incredible green. The turret, on the other hand, yeah, it's pretty red, we can work with that. But the cupola, 152 millimeters of impact armor, it's pretty weak. Like, don't get me wrong, I like that this tank has a good weak spot, and there is skill expression with it. There is a massive amount of skill expression, which I enjoy. The skill floor is already pretty high, so it's higher than what we have here. And the skill ceiling is even higher because you have to hide the cupola, you have to gun block, etc, etc, etc. That is a lot of fun. And you can even try to side scrape quite a bit. You have solid 95 millimeters armor all around. You have, this is a weak spot, which is a tad annoying. Actually, let's try to side scrape from the other side. So we can almost side scrape like this, so we will showcase part of the armor here. So side scraping can work, it's more about baiting people, but what can work better is, again, if you play the E5, you know this, you can bait people with your hull. If you peek like this, you can probably even bait them into shooting your road wheel. They will bounce, it will do no damage. As you can see, it's very far forward. And you are a Joe tank, you can see it here. There are double track mechanics. So if they detrack you even with damage, you can still peek and do damage to them, and chances are very high you have a better DPM than them. You also have solid 10 degrees of gun depression, and you can see even using 10 degrees of gun depression you can't hide the cupola either. So let's take high pen heat. Yeah, then the turret starts to get quite a bit weaker. The main problem I had with the turret, and you can see it also here in the 3D model, it is modeled really accurately, like kudos to the person which modeled it, like there are a lot of polygons in the damage model. But that just results in sometimes people hitting this spot having an easy pen, and then they're hitting this spot and they don't have an easy pen, you know? There are a lot of tiny spots where you go from like 65% to 30% penetration rate. And this just feels extra frustrating for you if you get hit in the 65% penetration rate, and for the enemy if he hits the 25% and bounces, you know? That's a little bit unfortunate. And hold down, it has the same weak spot as the AE phase 1, where people can just shoot through the cheeks of the turret, so you have to keep that in mind. It works, like it genuinely works. My session wasn't perfect, I only had like 3k damage with it, but it works really okay. But keep in mind that 10 games is a good feeling for me to know, yes, that tank works, but it's not a good feeling on how the tank performs over like 100 plus games, depending how much you want to play it. So, where does this leave us? As already said, if you enjoy the E5, that tank is for you. If you don't enjoy the E5, then don't bother. It's simple as is. I do believe that when the Battle Pass releases with the buffed HE, I have to revisit the tank again, as it could be potentially quite a big difference, as I will be shooting a lot more HE than I have done now. Then again, it is not an SPHT, which is very fast, it goes like 50, this one goes only 40, but it's still fast enough to potentially have side shots. And with 150mm of pen, you can penetrate quite a lot of heavy tanks' sides as well if you decide to go full on berserk. And don't forget, you have 30% higher DPM with HE. And you already have pretty decent base DPM. We're talking about 2400 base DPM compared to 2100 on the AE phase 1. That's almost a shot more per minute. That is substantial. And add to that better gun handling, add to that better aim time, add to that better accuracy. Fantastic. So I like it. I don't like that you can't grind it out. That's a bit unfortunate, but if you have 3500 gold left over and you want to grind it out, take it. It's a no-brainer if you enjoy the E5. My name is RagingRaptor. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you around. Cheers, lads.